It's even got the thing to answer the phone on it. I didn't realise. Is it live? Has it got me in?
Yep.
I'm all good.
Yep. Sitting in Henry's crutch.
Well, I like to think of it more as being in the protective embrace of one of the founders of our country, I guess. Good old Bolte. Yeah. So, hello. Look, I'm not actually looking at the screen because I'm pointing in the right direction, the opposite way, with someone on the other side of the camera. So I can't see you who's coming in and saying hi. So I can't do the usual hi individually as you come in, sadly. But hi all.
Bobby Wright is watching.
Oh, hey Bobby, how are you? Well, there you go. The cameraman's filling me in. So he knows who to tell me about. So, you know, Robin will be along any minute. So I don't know if you guys managed to catch the pilot of Argo Nights that was broadcast last Wednesday. It was an amazing experience. I got an opportunity to work with some really amazing musicians. And they're going to be back. That's right, we're shooting episode 2 next week on the 14th. So not the week we're coming into, but the one after. So the 14th of November, we'll be broadcasting live from the printers room in Ballarat once again. So join us. If you're in the Ballarat region, if you're in Victoria, come down, be part of the live audience. You know, consider purchasing the dinner and show package. Great food, great entertainment, great company. You know, it'll be awesome. I'll be there. So will Kev. Did you guys catch Kev on my show? The guy was born with a guitar in his hands. It must have been such a difficult birth for his mother. And I'm serious. You just don't get that good because at some stage in your life you picked up a guitar. You played it in a life before this one and brought the skill with you, and probably the instrument. I think his mother's just glad he wasn't a drummer. So I'm actually up on Sovereign Hill. Now, Sovereign Hill's got a rich history in Victoria and Ballarat. You know, this is there's the Gold Museum and that up here. But I think when I think of Ballarat, when I think of places like Sovereign Hill, and I think of places like the Eureka Stockade, it makes me think of the Australian spirit, that resilient spirit that helped to carve this country out of the wild. That spirit of mateship, of putting out your hand to help your fellow man. Because I think that's what Australia is, and it's indicated by our willingness to help those in countries around us, no matter how much it may in fact be, you know, detrimental to our own financial well-being. I mean, we're giving away a lot of overseas funding every year, and yet we see a continuation and an ever-increasing number of people sleeping on the streets, of people, families, people that work, losing their homes, not being able to maintain mortgage payments. And that's sad when you think about the core of what an Aussie is, the giving, the being there for others. And I think it's time that we re-examined, as it were, what's going on. Like, I don't think any Aussie is going to say we shouldn't help people, and rightly so. But I think a lot of them are going to be happy to examine the way our government takes our money and the way they disperse it. Because we don't see a lot of value for our money. We don't see a lot of dollars hitting the ground in these countries that we direct the aid. We see a lot of money being tied up in the bureaucracy, being chewed up by the system, and very little of it actually ending up in the people's hands that we're trying to help.
Cal says hi. Kathleen says hi.
Hiya, how are you guys? Sorry, I'm looking at the back of a camera. I'm actually looking at the beautiful sky behind me, as you guys will be able to see. I'm sitting here with a brass replica of one of our former Prime Ministers, I believe. Sir Henry Bolte. Bolte. Well, you know, I don't know if the E is silent, but probably not, because I remember something called the Bolte Bridge in Queensland, so that's probably, you know, related to him in somewhat. There you go. Oh, it's in Melbourne, is it? Excellent. There you go. I thought there was one in Brisbane. Who knows? Pfft, he's obviously a Victorian, and they've got statues of him everywhere. So I think I'm going to find my way out to the Eureka Stockade. I'm going to take us out to a place where Australians stood side by side, and basically told the government that they were going too far, that they were pushing too hard, that they weren't taking the needs of the people into consideration. And I think that's a very, very similar place to where we are politically today. Here we are coming up on elections in Victoria, and we're seeing a shift. We're seeing a paradigm shift as far as where the people's confidence are. You look at the Wentworth election a little while ago, you saw a 30% shift moving away from the Liberal Party, but unlike in history, where it would have automatically shifted over to the Labor Party, it actually found its way towards an independent. And that's not an isolated incident. We've seen a lowering of the primary vote for both of the major parties over the last few elections. And when you think about it, this last term alone, we've ended up with 3 prime ministers that we've got to pay retirement packages for forever. What a joke is that? What value have we got by putting ScoMo in other than bloody putting somebody else's trough deeper into the bloody, their nose deeper in the trough? We get no value. The people of Australia get no value from these little machinations, these little swapping around of seats. It's like musical chairs between these tards. And I'm tired of it, and I'm sure you are too. So Victoria's coming up on election time. You've got about 8, maybe 9 different candidates from the Reason Party. You've got candidates from the Greens. You've got candidates from independent parties across, the Aussie Battlers Party included. So I think you should be evaluating who you've got as an option in your area. And let's show these bastards once and for all, we've had enough. Let's show them that we don't need political parties to have a future. Let's show them that we actually will have a better future without the dominance of 2-party controlled politics. I'd love to have a House of Representatives that actually represented Australians rather than little biased self-interest of the parties. We've seen it time and time again. Look, neither of them are putting any decent options on the table. Until we see one that truly puts a well thought out cannabis plan on the table, until they commit to getting behind that plan, there's nothing reasonable to be looking at. So let them know that. Let them know that if they're not behind you, you're no longer behind them. Let's show that it is a people-derived government, once and for all. Let's get rid of these parties. Let's start Australia 2.0. Society for those within society. Something built on best practice, not longest practiced. So,
Tammy says hello.
Hi Tammy, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us today. Here I am in beautiful Ballarat, Victoria. Once again, let me remind you, we're broadcasting live on the 14th of November here from Ballarat. If you'd like to join us, come on down. There's dinner and show packages available for the broadcast. Alternatively, you can tune in from wherever you are. You'll be tuning in on Facebook, you'll be tuning in on YouTube, and hopefully, by then you'll be tuning in on Ancient J, a new domain about to be released to the public. It's about that time that the origin story and all of the other things were put on the table. Let's see which way we go forwards from here. So yeah, there's some exciting new things happening. Literally, exciting new things happening. And it's all going to move us further and further away from prohibition and closer to the kind of society that we, our neighbours, our children, and those to come deserve. Building a future for the people, you know, that they'd want to be part of. Because right now, we're heading into a dead end, a financially destitute dead end. No bright future, there's nothing envisaged on the table. What has Labor or Liberal ever done for you or this country other than taken from it and made itself fat on your hard work? Nothing. Isn't it about time Australians fought for a better Australia? And I don't mean fighting out there on the battlefield. I mean fighting here at home, fighting for what's right, fighting to end the dominance of tyranny, Because that's what it is. When you've got a government that continues a prohibition on a harmless plant that causes suffering and harm to people every single day, because that's what prohibition does, it causes harm and suffering to people every single day. Over 250,000 Australians are being harmed by cannabis prohibition today, tomorrow, yesterday, and for every day that you, the people of Australia, allow prohibition to continue. It's one small step, but it's a step that will relieve suffering for so many. Please, join me in this important, one might say most important goal of ending something that only accomplishes one thing: harm and suffering, mostly on the vulnerable. Is that the kind of world you want to live in, where we aim at the vulnerable and we cause them harm? It's not like I want to leave the world. I want to change it so it becomes the kind of world we all want to live in, the kind of world that is made that people are respected, people are not treated as less. It'd be nice. It's not utopia, but let's start heading in the right direction. Anyway, I think I've given the tourists enough to sort of like to giggle about. They're also like walking past me going, just imagine if I had a bong or a joint, but I don't. I could have faked one. I got rollies. I could have just smoked a cigarette, but just, you know me, I don't like doing that. It's all about the truth. It's all about the honesty. It's all about getting to where we need to be. And we can only get there through facts, not fallacies. So, join me.
Joe's just joined in. Dave has just joined in.
Hey, Joe and Dave. How you doing, guys? Lovely to see you. Not that I can see you, but it's good to know you're there. Appreciate the support. I appreciate all the support I receive from all of the wonderful people out there. It's kind of good to know that what I'm doing is appreciated by some. You know, we're getting there. Probably some more exciting news coming up. I think I've been offered a hosting role on another show, somebody else's show. Go figure. I don't know if it's online, if it's radio or it's TV. Everything's sort of like in hushy hush sort of mode at the moment. You know how it is. They're like industry people, so nobody's letting out anything. But there's negotiations, there's interest, and there is definitely an openness from me. So I actually have replied that I am very much interested in the role. So we'll see what that goes. It'd be interesting. It'd be cool. It'd be amazing. Don't forget to tune in on November the 14th for the live broadcast from the Printers Room in Ballarat. Book now if you want one of the limited seatings available. If you're looking for a Christmas party with a difference, why not book you and your friends to come down and have dinner and be part of the show? Come down and see the action of happening behind the scenes of a live broadcast. Maybe, if you're interesting enough, you could join us on the couch. Who knows? Maybe I'll be taking random people from the couch to ask random questions. The show's evolving, the format's growing. It's little bit by little bit. Leaps and bounds are yet to come. I'm excited. I hope you are. I'm going to go. Call me Ancient, call me Jay. Please don't call me late for dinner, because the munchies, that's a real thing. Bye.